James Kaufman, World News Report today, May 29th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a heck of a day on me. I feel like I got ran over by a bus. With that said, we've been in a heck of a geomagnetic storm because of 7 strong solar flares that we had just a few days back. The problem is this solar storm has been made up of only solar winds and no plasma whatsoever. Now, we all know that coronal holes produce solar winds, and there's constantly solar winds leaving our solar disk or sun. But when we see 7 Earth-facing solar flares, we're going to expect some sort of plasma content. Even if solar winds are pushed ahead and come in strong, we should always see a plasma component if it is what they say it is. So we're going to go over the KP index first real quickly. Let's just stick with the estimated planetary KP index. As y'all know, we started the day off with a G3 geomagnetic storm, a 6.66 on the KP scale. How convenient. Now that was followed up by 9 hours of a G1 geomagnetic storm. These are 5s and 5.33s. Only to be followed by 9 more hours of a KP2 geomagnetic storm. These are 5.6667s. And currently we just saw a G1 geomagnetic storm. And we may or may not still be in the storm. It is forecasted through tomorrow. Now, as we all know, we had several Earth-facing solar flares, and 1 or 2 of them had to whip up some sort of coronal mass ejection that we're being hit by now. You can see there's about 7 or 8 M flares and 1 X flare. And this is the period that we're suffering through right now, currently. Now, what we didn't have is a large coronal hole. That was last week, and that ship didn't sail, right? We never got hit by solar winds when that huge coronal hole was Earth-facing last week. We were expecting to. It was predicted that we would, but it never happened. Let's take a quick look at our solar disk. We've got a bunch of mean sunspots coming around here. I will point those out in just a second on a chart. We had this slither of a coronal hole work its way down from the North Pole, but this would not have been capable of what we're seeing as far as the solar storm. So 4098 is already around the limb. It actually generated most all of the stronger flares. We're dealing with 2 now beta gamma sunspots here, and I will let you see those soon. They're likely to rip off a large flare at any moment. They're almost directly Earth-facing currently. All right, so here is 4100 and 4099, both beta gamma sunspots. The rest are simple, but that hasn't stopped them from X-flaring this week. This is HMI intensogram here. Everywhere we go, we're seeing the same exact thing. We're definitely in a geomagnetic storm. I will show you the magnetometers out of Sweden, screaming KP6, KP7 here. And this is 2200 or right at 5 p.m. Central here. We're not seeing that strong of a storm on our KP index, but they're having a rough time over in Europe as well, i.e. the entire planet is encompassed with a geomagnetic disturbance storm. This is just to show you guys that we got it all right. G3, KP7 here, and we have the KP5s, 9 hours of a KP6 G2. We're back to a G1. jumping over to our Discover satellite so we can get some details about this. First, we notice that we've not broken the space weather threshold for plasma all day long. It's been meandering in the 2s, 3s, and 4s. Very, very odd. Remember now, we've had a G3 geomagnetic storm and 9 hours of G2. They're also expecting strong magnetic storms into tomorrow and the next day. I don't know what would be generating these. I will show y'all a peek from behind. We do have solar winds coming up from behind the planet, and I don't see any planets behind us, at least on the planetstoday.com. Now, look at the solar winds down here. Starting the day out at 600, what would have caused 600 and 4.10? How did that turn into a G3 geomagnetic storm? There's just no making sense of it whatsoever. And then as the solar winds strengthen, there's 722. We stay in the middle here into a G2, but look at the plasma at 3, and the solar winds are in the 600s, not 800s, not 900s. We must not have any shields left, but here it tells us our shields are basically north-facing here, which is a good thing. Then we have solar winds down here in purple shoot up to 831. Now, we're not in a G3 here. Look at plasma at a 3.08. We're in a G1 here, a G1. So this is very hard to figure out, to say the very least. We started out with the most elevated temperatures, and temperatures have subsided all day long as plasma has stayed the same and solar winds are building stronger and stronger. They're looking for stronger solar winds tomorrow. Real quickly, checking our work. Plasma never went over 10. Real quickly, checking our work. That was the peak right there at about 20 UTC time at about 800 kilometers per second. And temperature, like I said, it went from very, very hot almost to normal here. Again, no sense in this. Okay, over to the planets today to show you there's nothing behind Earth that would be causing any problems that the planets today has on their chart here. It's only a chart, so we don't really know what's behind Earth. I will say that the flares went off the exact day they should have, when the moon lined up with the sun and Mercury and Uranus and Jupiter being on the other side. It's the exact day we had all the heavy flaring when that moon lines up, either on the front side or back side. So that all happened properly, but that should have sent plasma our way, not solar winds only with 3 centimeters cubed of plasma. Makes no sense. All right, now we're going to play our solar winds here out, and you can see there, look, these are all pointing towards the back side of our planet. In this model, Earth's the little white and black ball here. The black ball around that is our atmosphere. We're moving to the right at 56,000 miles an hour, also moving at you at 545,000 miles an hour. And look at the winds hitting that back side. It's hard to say ebbing effect because, well, there's a little bow shock, but look, solar winds all the way back here that are, well, on and off, pushing like on there, off there, on the back side of our planet here. There's no saying no to it. I'll show y'all what it looks like during the time it says that solar winds went over 800 kilometers per second. This is that time period right now. Look at all the winds. It's going to be millions of miles behind the planet, yet they're headed towards the planet when the planet is moving to the right at 67,000 miles an hour. There's more winds. pushing at the back of the planet. No real bow shock, definitely not an ebbing effect. And here's more winds. Well, we have almost an hour of heavy solar winds pushing from the, 2 hours, excuse me. So we definitely have some strange stuff happening here. And it flattens all out, but there's no bow shock. I mean, it didn't get hit by a lot of plasma or heavy solar winds to straighten it out. It's almost like this thing behind us is intermittent. Nothing I can explain. We'll take one quick look at CERN and see if it's under operation. That'd be one of the only ways we could explain this. And wouldn't you know it, folks, we're in instantaneous luminosity. At the same point, we're in this strange solar storm that's going to last for 3 days. Yet there's, no plasma hitting from the coronal mass ejections that supposedly were headed earthbound. Beams are on high up here, as high as they can go, and they've reached instantaneous luminosity. Gotta love them. Please share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible. Bizarro world. Notice it's a proton experiment.